They said there's no doubt you'll surely lose. Go ahead and sing your tune. We didn't listen, stayed right on the truth. And now we're on the right side of the news.
Good morning, Pope, the Hornets Nest. I'm here with Doug, my
I'm
co-host
right here,
today.
Doug Janke. I'm right with him. There you go.
Stay tuned because we're really getting it on today. We'll segue into
Segue
Islam.
into the show. Yes, Islam. What do you need to know? What do you want to know?
How come Trump and Heskov decided to bomb Iran?
Well,
you know, I suspect people don't understand the importance of doing that because I really didn't until I saw this clip. And it explains it pretty well. If we hadn't, their intentions is to start World War III.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's funny, and you hadn't seen that clip or knew about the 12th. I think it's called the 12th Imam. And in theory, Islam believes that there is a lost imam hanging out in a cave waiting to come out and basically control the world and kill everybody who's not Muslim. Look it up. Don't believe me, please. And that clip that we're going to share with you, of course, will reflect it.
The Sunni and Shiite is important to understand this for what's going on in Iran. Muhammad had a daughter, Fatima, married to Ali, and his followers are Shiite Ali or Shia or Shiite. 15% of Muslims are Shiite. They're mostly in Iran.
Iranians.
Muhammad had lots of wives, and so he had lots of father-in-laws, but the father-in-law of Aisha, the 6-year-old that he married, consummated at 9. Aisha, her dad was Abu Bakr, and he fought with Muhammad in his battles, his 66 battles and raids, and he said, I know the way. So the word for the way is Sunni. So we have the Shia and the Sunni. Now, in the Battle of Karbala, if I'm not mistaken, is when Hussein, the son of Ali, was killed by the Sunnis. And so that started a blood feud that went on till now.
Till now. Yeah.
And the 12th descendant, the bloodline of Muhammad, they're called Sharifs, but the 12th one, he was 5 years old and disappears from history in the year 874. And the Shiite believe he's been hiding in a cave for 1,200 years. And that if the Ayatollah can create a world war on purpose, this 12th Imam, this Mahdi, will come out of the cave, and then their version of Christ, which is sort of the Christian version of the Antichrist, he will return, and together they'll kill the little Satan Israel, they'll kill the big Satan America, they'll kill all the Christians and all the Jews and all the apes and all the pigs, and they'll set up a one world government that's Islamic called the Caliphate. And so where the communists have nuclear weapons, but they're not in a hurry to use them, the Ayatollah, with this 12er version of Shia Islam, actually wants to create a global war to usher in this global government of Islam. And so that's why, both Trump and Hegseth said, we can't let this guy have the nuclear weapons because he will use them. He just got done killing 50,000 of his own people that were demonstrating.
All right, we'll end it there.
But at the same time, I will say the Jews are in the belief that they need to have a greater Israel so they can build the third temple. So oddly enough, you have two competing religions who both have a nihilistic writings in there.
One, Islam is not a religion.
Well, anybody can say it is or it is not. I mean, is Jehovah religion, is Baptist? I don't know. You have a book. Each of them have books. You have the Quran, you have the Bible, and then there's a Jewish Bible, the Torah. And the Jewish people, they're the real believers with the Talmud and with Goyim and all that good stuff. The Jewish soldiers on their shoulders, they have a patch showing a map of Israel, but it's called Greater Israel. So it encompasses Syria, southern Iran, all of Gaza, Hezbollah, or Lebanon. And if you look at their patches, they've got that, and they have the belief that they should be controlling the Middle East.
Yes,
and then Imam on the other side, the Islam, because that's where we started, they have this belief, and we heard a little bit more about it. It's a 5-year-old and all this good crap. But they have the belief that they need to create a world war.
Start the third world war.
Start the world war.
It.
So, and at the end of the day,
well, if that's their belief,
I'm not sure that Trump went in for that, but we'll go down that.
Well, if that's their belief, you certainly don't want them to have a nuclear bomb.
Well,
I mean, that's their mechanism to start the Third World War, and out comes little bald boy from the cave that's only 5 years old, and he's going to usher in a caliphate to rule the whole world.
Yep.
And, this guy came up missing, 850 years ago?
Something to that effect.
And they still believe that?
Well, yeah.
Getting back to Israel, I don't see Israel invading other countries until they're picked on.
You would be incorrect, but that's okay.
Is that the rule of thumb? Or
no,
is
that's
that
not
unusual?
the rule of thumb. No, that's not the rule of thumb.
What are you trying to say there, Doug?
I'm saying that Israel's not the friend that we thought that they were.
Yeah, but who have they started a war with? They started. Somebody else didn't invade their country. Somebody else didn't do something to them.
Well, I think there's an overwhelming preponderance of the evidence that October 7th was an allowed attack on them.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that for a minute.
I believe it 100%. I have now seen video from people in the military who said they kept telling higher ups that there's activity across the wire for at least a month before the actual attack. And it was sent up to command. They're doing these ultralights. They're doing these rushes towards the fence, and there are videos showing specifically these people saying, and they're under a lot of pressure because they're saying, look, we could have stopped this and we didn't. Also, another fact that happened the night before is they know for a fact it came out. The IDF had to admit.
Okay.
The IDF had to admit that over 800 SIM cards were activated on their cellular network in Gaza. Now, the only reason they needed that is they needed to have communications once they crossed the wire.
No, they didn't. They needed more methamphetamine so they could rape them little virgin girls and raise havoc and kill families.
I'm saying it was very convenient that Israel allowed that stuff, and then they got attacked. But at the same time,
Israel allowed, but Gaza came across.
Absolutely.
So Israel didn't start it. Maybe they let it happen.
Well, I think
which is a whole different subject.
Well, I think they allowed it to happen so they could do what they did.
You go.
And so there's that.
If they hadn't done that, Israel wouldn't be over there kicking their ass. I got a problem with Israel stalling. They should have been on them like ugly on an ape, waiting for the United States permission or whoever to go in.
I will argue with this.
6 or 8.
Israel is not our friend, and we should not treat them as such. They have sold our top secret technology to China. They have been caught multiple times.
Bill Clinton gave it to China.
Billy did too, but I'm just saying Israel has given a lot of our top secret stuff to our largest enemy, and we've caught them. And so now what do we do to stop that? We signed a military pact with them last week that allows them to have access to every shred of intel and our top secret stuff. Unfettered. They basically are an arm of our armed forces now. And so on both sides,
well,
Islam
I would rather
and
have Israel on our side than against us.
I wouldn't want them on my side at all. Their surveillance of us is intense. They gather all the information.
And we're not?
No, it's based on their
Yeah,
based
but
on what
look
they're doing.
at us. We do the same thing.
Well, yeah, I mean,
the
Trump is
United
overseeing.
States hasn't been a good friend to a lot of countries, a lot of friends.
Exactly. Trump and the boys are
that's the
bringing.
way the game's played.
It doesn't need to be played that way. That's
well, we're not making the rules. We're just
know.
observing what's going on.
Yeah. No, I got to say both Islam and the Jewish faith have some challenges in terms of how they see the outcome of the world.
The Catholics, when it comes to buggering little boys, they have some challenges.
They have some challenges. Yes.
Name me the religion that doesn't have the challenge.
Yeah.
The Rastafarians. Let's smoke some dope. The girls can run around topless, and we'll go skinny dipping.
Or the Buddhists, they sit there they sit there with their legs crossed and they're doing this.
And don't hurt that fly.
Yeah. So no, starting off, we have Islam, the 12th Imam. Just watch this video that we're gonna have linked into the thing. It'll explain what's going on. And yes, one of the things that I've said on our show before when we were at the 2 radio stations is, when Trump in this case started this carfuffle, we'll call it, I said it's going to be he's going to lose it, and I said that on the radio, and it sounds weird, but you're dealing with people who want to die.
So let's kill them.
Well, the problem is you're dealing with people who want to die, and like the clip points out, these people killed 30 to 50,000 of their own people just earlier this year.
Yes.
Do you think America bombing them and killing another 30 or 50,000 is going to actually upset the leadership? That's part of their plan. And it's hard. You can't negotiate with people. And in Islam, it specifically says that they are supposed to lie to you.
That's right.
And
anything goes as long as I can kill you.
Yeah, anything goes. I can lie to you about everything. You get to go away. And my ultimate objective is to enslave, or to convert, enslave, or kill you. And I have a problem with all 3 of those.
Okay, I read something that I was quite interesting, and it was that Trump's strategy with the memorandum of agreement
Of understanding, yes.
That he knows that Israel or Iran isn't going to stick to it, but he's showing the world that you can't trust him.
Well, he also knows that Israel's not going to.
On and on, and I guess we're bombing the hell out of him right now.
I know that he's also aware that Israel's not going to stop killing in Lebanon. So he knows both of those are true. He knows that they're not planning to stick to a memorandum of understanding. And he knows Israel is not going to stop in Lebanon because that's part of their greater Israel strategy.
But he's showing
so he knows that doesn't matter what he does. They've linked their peace to Israel stopping, and he knows they're not going to.
He's showing that Iran, you can't trust them. No matter what deal they make, they're bombing the next day.
Well, I'm telling you, Iran really has the cards in their favor.
I don't think so.
Because all of the Middle East is dependent on desalination plants. In other words, to take the seawater, take the salt out of it so they can drink.
Oh, is that what that is?
That's what it is.
I always wondered about
California could have spent a couple billion a couple years ago and actually had desalination plants that would have pumped bazillions of gallons of water at a cost.
But the
drought would have not been any issue at all because there would have been plenty of water from Pacific Ocean coming inland.
The reason we couldn't do that is because Gavin Newsom was funneling all that money to his wife.
Yes, and we'll talk about that in a second.
I was segueing into it.
I know. And so the Middle East is completely dependent on this purified water, and Iran knows it. And if they go and knock those things out, you could have death on the scale of hundreds of millions, because the entire Middle East would have no water, no usable, drinkable water. And you can go without food for about 10 days, but you can't go without water.
All they've got to do is hire Dane Wigington to take some clouds over there.
And
I'm bringing HARP, just like Elon Musk with Starlink. We got Dane Wiggin bringing HARP
I'm going to
over.
start raining in the Middle East. So Iran has that. And then, and for all of Trump's stupidity, he's like, oh, we have the world's best Navy. We have nothing. Our Navy will not cross that because we know a ship will go down absolutely instantly.
I don't think so.
We know that if we
agree with you.
I know that if they were to send one of our ships across and Iran wanted to take it out, they would take it out. And they could not stop. We could not stop it. And the concern is if they tried to get a carrier. I mean, the carriers are there, but they're quite a distance away. If they got those carriers in close, you're talking 5,000 soldiers in one ship. So Iran has gained an upper hand strategically from being a regional pain in the butt to now being a world superpower because they control this thing. And our reserves, I mean, just hold on, folks. Our reserves are near zero. A strategic petroleum reserve has been dropped down to below 1980, I think, and even it's getting drawn down every day. So
Are you saying that we're using it right now?
Yes. That's the only reason gas prices are at $4 something a gallon is because we've been pumping the hell out of our strategic reserve. And
I thought we were getting oil from Venezuela.
Well, there's a lot of things that we were told. None of it's truly true.
And in fact, Cuba's they don't have any electricity
At
now.
all.
They're black.
They have nothing at all. And people don't understand is, yes, we are theoretically energy dependent, but we send about 3 to 4 barrels out of every 10 as export. Now, if we're willing to stop that, we would become energy independent. But we actually still bring in, out of the 10 barrels we need a day, we still bring in about 4 from overseas. And our strategic reserve is now getting to the point where we literally, on a technical scale, are like at zero. And the longer this mess goes in Iran, the bigger the consequences are for the world. So, but you are right. You have a group of people that believe death is the thing because they're being promised 70 virgins. I'm not sure I'd want to have 70 women, much less 70 virgins, but they're being promised that, and they believe it. And they believe this 12th imam.
Boy, those women would be fighting over who gets to be first.
Yeah, oh boy. Yeah. At 9 years old, because that's when Muhammad had one of his wives, was 9 years old. Actually, we just found out that one was 6, but she was pregnant at 9. So
no, it was it was sexually. That's the big word I was consummated when she was 9.
There you go.
Well, they're a sick crew.
Well, the next thing that you led into, since we were on a time frame, Newsom's wife.
Oh gosh.
You know a little bit more from the video, but I know what I know. Let's talk about that for a second.
Well, the thing is, Newsom's got his tit in a ringer because a whistleblower.
Wrong. It's because Trump hates him.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Just want to make sure we put that out there.
It's there. A whistleblower, and the suspicion is the whistleblower is the husband of the gal that Newsom had an affair with that was helping run his campaign. And the husband was appointed to some panel by Newsom, and the suspicion is he blew the whistle on this Williamson gal who just pled guilty to, I think it was tax evasion. And we're going to play the video now, and it's going to show the deductions that she claimed.
Yeah, maybe someone who has a personal grievance against Gavin Newsom. A scorned husband might be the first place to look there. I mean, this is pretty significant. The charges against Dana Williamson, especially the ones that she pled guilty to, this is pretty significant. I mean, the tax fraud, listen to this description of the tax fraud. So she claimed over $1.7 million in improper business expenses on her taxes between 2021 and 2023. That's just a couple years, including a $15,000 Chanel bag and earrings, Fendi items, Gucci goods, a charter jet, a $170,000 Mexico birthday trip, and yacht rental. How do you even spend that much on a vacation? I can't even fathom how that would work. Hotel stays, family wage. Like an expensive vacation for me is like $5,000. Exactly. Totally different world these people live in. Hotel stays, family wages, and home goods vet services. This led to over $500,000 in tax losses. Like, when these people, these elitists, I swear, when they commit this kind of tax fraud, it is always about like the luxury billionaire lifestyle that they rail against.
Yes. And she also did some PPP fraud within there where she got PPP loans for her lobbying business. And that business was specifically excluded from being able to receive PPP loans. So she's basically was taking this lifeline that normal people needed to keep their small businesses going. Yes. And took that.
I'm looking at this. Yeah, $104,000 PPP loan during COVID. Oh, that's so... Wait, so her business that she took this 6-figure loan for, it was not eligible to begin with?
Correct. It was a lobbying firm.
She spent like $150,000 or $60,000 on a vacation, a birthday party vacation to Mexico.
As a tax write-off, for the record.
Yes. Gucci bags, just all kinds of stuff that is just absolutely ridiculous. That if she hadn't claimed that, she would have paid about $500,000 taxes on it. But she's a government employee. Where the hell does she get that kind of money? Well, that's our money that we could have built desalination plants with.
Well,
or our railroad from Los Angeles to San Francisco could be done without people like this.
Could have been,
but anyway, they were funneling money into Gavin Newsom's wife's nonprofit, and she was putting a lot of that in her pocket. And you just said right here that she's going going to go to prison for a long, long time.
No, I said she probably won't go to prison because these people seem to get away with that stuff. Newsom won't get charged, even though he's guilty as hell. We also heard in this clip, which you guys can definitely see when it's running, that they applied for PPP loans. People remember that during COVID, and they received a large sum of money in an organization that wasn't even supposed to be allowed to have PPP. But in my research, what I came across was that this Williams chick, yes, I called her a chick, not an it, not a they. I said a chick. She apparently had been wiretapped for 2 years during the Biden administration.
Yes.
So, or 1 year during the Biden and 1 year during Trump. So when Gabby gets up on the TV,
and I wonder what they had. I wonder what they had on her to get her to wear wire.
Well, that's the point. That's what I've heard and read is so far is that
I
was
saw YouTube with it. Showed her name.
That was kind of the thing but it started in the Sacramento federal investigation. So something about Sacramento and federal Bureau of Investigation and the DA or the AG's office or something is one that started it. And so, but it started during Biden's term.
Yes.
So this is just my slick hair, you piece of human shit. The reality is you are a criminal. You should never even be running our country. You should be in prison right now. But it was a wiretap from that lady that she was in all those meetings for 2 years. And that's what's coming out. And so for Newsom, and the problem is what really pisses me off is Trump's side, air quotes, the people that are prosecuting, don't come out and point out, Blake, say, look, we've had a wiretap in your office for the last 2 years, predating Trump. This has nothing to do with Trump. You are dirty, you're a criminal, and we're coming after you. But he gets to go out and do these little sound bites on Monday morning. And nobody says about what we've been hearing.
Trump just went into with a search warrant looking for something wrong.
Well,
nothing to see here.
Yeah.
He's trying to get rid of his competition for the White House. Something to that effect.
Yeah.
Well, geez, what happened when Biden sent the FBI to Mar-a-Lago? They were looking for the evidence that Trump had on them. They wanted to destroy it,
including going through Melania's underwear drawer looking for evidence. Yes.
I think they were looking for something else.
I think they were too, but I mean that's true. But Nick, but the problem is it's okay for idiot liberals to do that to conservatives. That's perfectly. He had top secret documents. Turn the tables 1 degree, and it's holy hell. It's retribution. It's anti-American.
And it's okay. Joe Biden had top secret information next to his Corvette in his garage, and they left the door open.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. No. Okay. Yes. So, anyways, Newsom's wife. Hopefully, Gav and her spend a lot of time in prison having butt buddies. I hope they put Gavin's wife in a prison where the cellmate is a transgender
Ghislaine Maxwell,
not finished with transition, and they have a happy sex life while Gavin's getting sex life as well.
And he's dark complected.
I don't care what color it is. I'm just saying. Hopefully, that'd be a poetic justice for those two.
Well,
and they lose all of their wealth. They need to strip these people, Pelosi's, and they need to strip the Trumps of all their wealth. They are stealing this country blind.
Gavin is trying to make things right. He's going to cheat and get Barrera elected as governor.
Yes, he is. Yes, he's going to
get. No doubt.
He's going to get Javier Becerra as our new governor. And you want to think things are bad now? Wait till you get that guy in there.
Oh gosh, and
we've reached a point where I said the system has to crash. It's the only way you can save it. So, anyways,
save your crash for your race.
I don't want to have it. I've had one before. Now, Nick, one thing that we've been talking about, and I'm going to say you and I have been at the forefront of this. We've been hammering it. We've talked about it. We've actually played clips of a black lady. Yes, she's black. It's not racist. She is black. Talking about this going on, and it's about the busing in of people from out of the area to our community. And there was an actual lady probably almost 4 years ago at the Board of Supervisors talked that she was picking up a family member. The bus emptied out. Then they were handed their cell phones after they got off the bus, and the bus drove away. And you and I have been bitching about this since then, going, why is nobody looking into it? Then we found out 6 months ago or so that this hotel on Cyprus had a huge number of arsonists and pedophiles come on. And so what say you, Nick, now that Mr. Barner has decided it's time to bring it to the public attention again?
Well, in September 25, Chief Barner revealed that nearly 30 convicted sex offenders and arsonists were staying at Guest Place Inn Suites on East Cyprus, thanks to No Boundaries. That is a local nonprofit. NGO. And I went to their website, and the gal's name is Christine. What in the hell is her name? Christine, some damn thing. She came over from Lake Tahoe, and I believe she got in trouble up in Oregon. So she probably went to Lake Tahoe, and probably Kristen, in my opinion, I'm guessing Kristen Schrader brought her over here because it's wide open. But on their website, go to No Boundaries and look it up. They claim 2 motels that they rent rooms for, and they're both on North Market Street. One is at 1035, that's the Deluxe Inn. The other one is at 1100, and it is the Sundial. It doesn't mention this one over in Enterprise where the guest inn. It doesn't mention that one. But it says here, and if I'm not mistaken, and I'm not, believe that, by late 2025, roughly 720 individuals were in the Redding hotel-based interim housing programs. Now that's, if it's 2 to a room, that's 135 rooms. And a big percentage of those came out, and you listen to the clip from KRCR and Chief Barner, who is now retired. We're supporting 5 or 6 RPDs.
Barner has retired now.
Yes, he left at the end of this last month.
I did not know that.
And so...
Another $250,000 pension.
But the recidivism rate of these, statewide 3-year... reconviction rates hover around 40%, 39%. Local estimates for Shasta County suggest 35 to 40% for felony recidivism rates paroled here. So you've got these people from out of the area being brought in by No Boundaries, and there's another one, another nonprofit, and these people are committing more crimes in our community. They go to jail. There's no room for the jail. They turn them back loose out here. Why didn't somebody ask the community if we want to have these people brought here?
Almost 30 convicted sex offenders and arsonists are being housed in an eastern Redding hotel, and that has the attention of the police chief and his department. Chief Brian Barner says he recently discovered 28 sex offenders and arsonists staying here at the Guest Place Inn and Suites on East Cypress Avenue, enrolled in the No Boundaries Transitional Housing Program. He takes issue with half of them sent here by the state parole department from out of the area, from out of the state.
There's offenders from Tennessee, Illinois, Fresno County, all over. And that community, that should be a concern.
The Best Western Hilltop Inn is right around the corner from the Guest Place Inn. Owner Ed Rollman says he thinks it's bad business to house convicted felons in the same building with unsuspecting travelers, especially young families. And
what I've noticed lately is there's some new faces on the street and some scary faces. And I would assume after talking to Chief Barner, he goes, now you know why you're seeing those new faces.
I've received a lot of calls of people seeing an increase of. This is a direct reflection of these people that are being brought in from outside our community and housed here. Because during the day, they're out on the street and they're out walking around, and those are the people that we get calls for service on.
The chief also says his department is looking into other similar programs and hotels in the city.
We're looking into other nonprofits and other motels where this is also happening, but I just don't have that information yet, but we're continuing to work on it.
Well, Nick, you're obviously not intelligent enough to understand that when we had Schrader and who was the Julie and them and that crew, they wanted these people. They're just unhoused and they're misunderstood. They wanted them here.
A little counseling would
help.
Counseling,
a little love, and they will not rape your little girl if they give them counseling. And so you've got that, and now you've got on the board of supervisors, you got Long and the other gentleman who are they're supporters of this kind of stuff.
Plummer.
And so until we as a system, and it's a system, the ideal of America is dead. Until we decide that we've had enough and hold these people to account. And that includes taking all of their wealth. That includes putting them in prison. From Fauci and Obama and Trump on down, the system is rigged. These things you say are nonprofit. I promise you, they are making hefty profits. I think the one you mentioned, the head lady that you mentioned the name of,
Christine Gage.
I think I saw something where her salary was like 150 or 160 grand a year.
144.385 is what she's making.
As a nonprofit. Not that she's doing it because she feels good about it.
And the other one we have is the New Life Discovery Project. And they have both reached right at $2 million worth of public money to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And the head guy at New Life Recovery Project, his salary is $75,000 a year.
That's almost reasonable. That seems almost like a fair salary.
That surprised me. I don't believe that they're involved with bringing out-of-town parolees here. They're just involved with housing, well, let's see. It should say here real close. They're involved with drying out drunks and getting drug addicts off the street and mentally ill. And the other one, they bring in the out-of-town parolees. But this has been going on for a long time. You mentioned Anna, was that her name? The black
lady. I only remember as Anna or as
Jason
the black lady.
Miller, who owned Miller's Sandwich Shop.
Yeah.
Lucky Miller's. He was down south of town, pretty close to Northern Roots down there. He had a sandwich shop, and he saw a bus come in from Crescent City and drop off, he said, 30 to 35 parolees there.
Mm-hmm.
They're from out of town. He was an eyewitness. I emailed Matt Plummer, and I first I said, I emailed him, why don't you stop the out-of-town parolees? Well, he's a data guy. Well, according to data, Nick, 90% of the unhoused are local people. So I gave him those two phone numbers. You've got Charlie at Cascade Signs at North Pacelli Lane over where you're at. He's an eyewitness of the CHP dropping them off.
Mm-hmm.
And I personally talked to an out-of-town parolee. I'll get to that in a second. Plummer never contacted one of them.
Of course
so
not.
What they're doing is they pick and choose the data they want. And
well,
then,
anybody who's ever taken a statistics type class back in high school, if it was back in the day and it was honest, or in college, is the first thing a teacher will tell you, whatever you want the data to support, the data will support.
That's right.
And so you can make anything support anything if you just manipulate the data. So
Sure.
when you're saying Plummer's a data guy, it just shows he's an idiot because the data obviously is being cooked, and the overwhelming, I think, feeling of most people, I'm speaking on a very generality, but I'm going to say 8 out of 10 Ready Knights do not want the homeless people here. They do not want these pedophiles. They do not want these arsonists living in our community that we, for the record, you and I, because we actually pay taxes, we are paying for it.
That's right.
Okay?
That's absolutely
And
right.
so when Plummer makes some kind of a statement, well, statistics, because he's a village idiot. That's why.
Well, he's a socialist, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, and apparently the Democratic Party, 6 out of 10, based on the last polls, 6 out of 10 Democrats favor communism over capitalism. 6 out of 10.
That's right.
We've reached a nexus of stupidity and destruction in the Democrat Party. And that is that when 6 out of 10 of your people believe that communism is better than capitalism.
Well, they're not even thinking whether it's better or not. They're just thinking about helping our fellow man. We've got plenty. Let's help this guy. Let's give him a house. Let's give him food. Let's give him that.
It's not
but
hard.
Don't take it from my bank
Well, yeah,
account.
exactly.
I mean, we've got taxes to pay for that.
Well, like I said, the difference between a conservative and a liberal is a conservative, you and I would make laws that you and I would adhere to. A liberal makes laws that you and I should adhere to. So they want you to do that, but don't take their taxes. Take it from Nick and Doug.
Yeah, but if you stand back and look at all the fraud that's been going on in our country, the foreign aid and all that stuff, we could probably go ahead and house all those people and it wouldn't hurt us.
It would hurt us. We shouldn't be housing anybody except I do believe veterans deserve something. I believe women who
don't know so much. I don't believe just because somebody's a veteran they deserve.
No, but I'm more of the wartime ones who went and saw some really crappy stuff.
That's a good distinction.
That's what I think.
agree with you.
Yeah. Just because you served, no. But if you served in a war thing,
But
we should support you.
did you go in the service planning on being supported the rest of your life?
I think a lot of them get into the service because they want a
Anymore.
career. They want a career. They want the air quotes to benefits. They want to be part of something. And I do believe that.
Okay, now I want to tell you about my buddy Rick, and I'll
Yes.
keep it short.
Yep.
Rick went into the Navy when he was about 18, and Vietnam was peaking out. And he was deployed to San Diego. His idea of doing an out of country deployment was going to Tijuana and Ensenada, and he never left the States except for that. When I was pretty tight with Rick too. If you took every hour he worked in his life, you wouldn't put together a year's employment.
Okay.
And he milked every system. He was just worthless as tits on a slab of bacon. But he was a nice guy. I fished with him. He's a hell of a fisherman. But, I don't feel like he deserves housing just because he's a veteran.
Mm-hmm.
And there's plenty of them like that. I remember Bob. Bob ate too much LSD in high school, so he went into the service, and we supported him the rest of his life.
Yeah.
And then, so there's just because you're a veteran doesn't mean you get to be housed and supported the rest of your life. I agree with you, the ones that went and fought for our country or were lied to by our government and thought they were fighting for our country, yes, they deserve some benefits.
And suffered injuries, visual or internal. We do owe those folks because they gave up
their life,
their life, their freedom,
chunk of their
to go out and get an
future.
arm blown off, a leg blown off, and I think we owe them back.
Absolutely.
For those. So, hey, it's been about 34 minutes, I think, and I've got to get going to work because I actually still have a job to pay the taxes to put the homeless people in those hotels.
I'll finish the program if you don't have time for
Perfect. We've hit Islam, we've hit Newsom, and we've hit Barner,
and it's been fun. Thanks for coming in, Doug.
Not a problem. I'll see you in 2 weeks, Nick.
Okay.